I'm working on the project understanding the impact of trauma on the well-being of African American children and their families, young African American children and their families, an innovative approach to educating community providers. The Children's Hospital is the agency. However, there are two programs: Center for the Vulnerable Child and Early Intervention Services, two departments that came together to work on this project. There's a huge history of African Americans in this country that many people don't know. It's not part of our education system. There's also a lack of knowledge around basic understanding and compassion around what African Americans go through, what their experiences are, and particularly the multi-generational transmission of trauma, the post-traumatic slave syndrome, which is from Dr. Joy DeGruy, that we used a lot of her material, and then looking at the historical trauma and looking at racial trauma and the impact of all of that, and how can providers work with that and use information around that to improve their quality of service that they're providing to African American children and their families. And to have a better understanding will then help them maybe perhaps have better interventions and better services provided. So the healing questions that we used to talk with the focus group participants was also designed specifically around 7 questions that talk about what has happened to you, how has what happened to you impacted you, what have you learned, what helped you heal, and those questions were tweaked a little bit so that each group that we were talking to would be directed towards that particular group. So instead of just doing a basic survey, we used those healing questions to come up with the material that we use for the curriculum.